Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can perform a one sample Wilcoxon Signed Rank Test using R and my stikpetR library. I'm using Jupyter Notebook, but the R code should also work in, for example, RStudio. I'm running R version 4.3, and this test can be used to test for a single median. There are two alternatives, the one sample sign test or one sample trinomial test that can do some things similar. To show you how to do this, I'll need some example data, so I'll load in the General Social Survey 2012, slightly adjusted for some explanations, making life a little bit easier sometimes. I actually don't need all the data, I only need one ordinal field. I'm going to be using account sci, which has the response for how scientific is accounting. I'll store that under ord data. And to give you a quick impression, I'll use the table function. So you can see that, for example, not scientific at all, there were 307 people who selected that option. It might be useful to actually have all these options in order, so a small vector with the coding. My library is unfortunately not available on cron, so you should use DevTools. So perhaps first pip install, install DevTools, and then you can use install from GitHub, and then my GitHub link. The library itself can, once you've installed it, be loaded, and it has a few different parameters. Only the first one is a must, which is not a panda series. It's simply the data as a vector. The levels, that's if you have non-numerical data, that coding. So as you can see, I've used the function over here, and I specified it my ordinal data and the coding. Mu is the hypothesized median that you want to use. If you don't specify, the mid-range will be used, which is the maximum plus the minimum divided by 2. You can opt to use the ties correction. You can also choose which approximation to use, either exact, or you can just use the normal approximation by setting Wilcoxon, or the normal approximation from Iman, or Iman's student T distribution approximation. You can also specify what to do if there are scores that are equal to the hypothesized median. Wilcoxon will simply ignore those, and otherwise you can use the pret or the z-split method. You can also opt to use a continuity correction, and those are all the options. Once I've run this function, as you can see, it spits out the number of ranks that was used, the hypothesized median that was used, the sum of the ranks that are above the hypothesized median, the Z statistic or T statistic if you used an approximation, the degrees of freedom if it's the student T distribution approximation, the p-value, in this case below 0.05, so usually we would then say we have a significant different median than the assumed 2.5, and a small description of the test that was used. If all the scores are not the same, so for example like this, you can actually use the exact option, and as you can see, it will then spit out the results of that one. If I would try this over here, for example, with approx equals exact, and we run it, then it will simply say ties exist, so cannot compute the exact method. So then you have to choose another method. Alright, I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching.